Fox News alert and welcome to the Five. President Trump just announcing that Charlie Kirk has died after being shot at an event in Utah for his Turning Point USA organization. The president said, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you." You will have everyone on the Five's reaction in just a moment, but let's get you caught up on the news with the latest. Jonathan Hunt joins us now. Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, Dana. A tragic scene unfolding on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. That's about 30 minutes south of Salt Lake City, where Charlie Kirk was holding an event, the first event of what was called the American Comeback Tour. At about 12:20 local time, Charlie Kirk was sitting underneath a small tent in an outdoor area of the campus, a sort of amphitheater, buildings facing him about 100 to 200 yards away. He was addressing a crowd that looked to be up to a couple of thousand strong. He had been handing out baseball caps, smiling with the crowd, talking to those who had come to eagerly see him and listen to his words. And then in video we have seen, but are not showing for very obvious reasons, you hear as after Charlie Kirk sits down behind a desk underneath that small tent, you hear a single shot ring out. It appears to be from some sort of high-powered rifle, clearly shot from a distance. And then in one particularly gruesome video, you can see the bullet strike Charlie Kirk. It appears to hit him directly in the neck. You see a gush of blood, and then obviously, as you can imagine, the crowd running in every direction, absolutely terrified. We have seen pictures of Charlie Kirk then being carried away by people to be who appear to be security guards, not in uniform. There are obviously going to be questions about the security that was in place there, but this was, as Jason Chaffetz was saying, who was there on scene, an outdoor event in a conservative part of a conservative state. It's a very crime-free city, Orem. I know it well personally from family connections there. And nobody expected anything like this. It is a dreadful scene there now. The shooter appears to still be on the run at this point. Somebody was taken into custody earlier. We saw that on video. Appeared to be a more elderly gentleman. As we understand it, Dana, that man has now been released from custody and had nothing whatsoever to do with the shooting. So there is obviously very much now an urgent manhunt underway to find whoever carried out this shooting. And from the way it played out, the way it was set up, Dana, you have to think that this was very much planned and carried out by somebody very familiar with and competent with the use of a high-powered rifle. The ultimate outcome of all of this, Charlie Kirk dead at 31. Dana?
Thank you, Jonathan. And so we cover a lot of events here, and many of them don't touch us personally, but this one does. Charlie was a giant human, especially to me, one of the tallest people I've ever been around, but a huge heart, and what an impact. And Kennedy and I just saw earlier in the green room, you know, he was born in 1993, and you have to take, if you're our age, you think about that and like the impact that this young man had. And the shooting is a watershed moment for our country. And I believe, and I think my colleagues here will agree, the nation needs a circuit breaker. This is unacceptable. It's so tragic. And he touched a lot of people and a lot of people's hearts. You're going to hear a lot about more about that in the next hour and in the coming hours here on Fox News. His first television hit, Greg Gutfeld, was Fox and Friends in 2012, believe it or not. So we've known the young man for a long time, and may he rest in peace.
Yeah, he's I've known him for probably 10 years. I mean, it's hard to gather your thoughts beyond just horror. So instead, I mean, you know, Charlie was such a force of nature. He was brilliant and he was funny, but what scared people was his persuasiveness. The only way to take him down, because he could persuade you so strongly, was to kill him. You know, and the shock and despair that we are feeling, and I mean we as in shared by everyone at home and around this table and in this building, it's a testament to the impact of Charlie's friendship and his bravery and his character. And it's so deep a wound that we all feel. It's because it feels like he's one of us. He's part of us because he was such genuinely a patriot and a great person. So how do you work through this stuff? You know, it's not about him or me, it's us, the viewers. You are us. What do we do? Well, you still do what you always do, but you do more of it. You stand up, you speak up, and you share the risk. Right now, you are recoiling, but you have to come back and return stronger, more fortified, and more resilient. What is ironic, fittingly, I guess, is that this is a turning point. You know, if you believe in Charlie, you got to believe in yourself because he believed in you. You know, this isn't over. This is the beginning. And Charlie's power just got released in all of us. He's going to be bigger now than he ever was on this chaotic planet. He made us all bigger. So I think that if you're at home and you're feeling bad, don't just get through it. And remember that he would want you to get stronger and not back down.
Jesse, before I go to you, President Trump has announced that the flags will fly at half-mast for Charlie Kirk until Sunday evening at 6 p.m. I know you knew him well, too.
Yeah, we're sick, we're sad, we're angry, and we're resolute. And we're going to avenge Charlie's death in the way Charlie would want it to be avenged. He was such a beautiful boy. He was an American boy. And he was incredibly positive. He was full of energy and life. And he made politics fun. You see it at his events when things blow up and the music plays. And we haven't had that in a very long time in this country. Every time he did a hit on my show, he would text me afterwards, "Thank you, Jesse. I really appreciate having you on."
Yep.
And my daughter loved him. I mean, she's 13 years old. This is a man who touched an entire generation of Americans and electrified them and made them patriots. And this is not a controversial person. This is not a polarizing guy, a divisive person, a firebrand that he's being described as in the media. This is like a guy that you have a barbecue with at your summer house. This is the kind of guy, if you came back with your daughter, you'd say, "Thank God, we got a good one." He's a great athlete. He's a great person. He's a great Christian. You see his family out there. He had his kids not facing the photos because he wanted to protect them, because he knew how evil people were. So when he goes out to these college campuses, he's not provoking anybody. He's like Socrates. He asks questions, and he does it with a smile. And there's nothing controversial about saying socialism is worse than capitalism. Men and women are different. Let's put America first, because that's all he was about, putting America first. And as Greg said, this hits differently because Charlie was one of us. And Trump gets hit in the ear. Charlie gets shot dead. They came after Kavanaugh with a rifle to his neighborhood. They went after Musk's cars. They just shot 2 Jews outside the embassy. Think about it. Scalise got shot, barely survived. It's happening. You got trans shooters. You got riots in LA. They are at war with us. Whether we want to accept it or not, they are at war with us. And what are we going to do about it? How much political violence are we going to tolerate? And that's the question we're just going to have to ask ourselves. Now, Charlie would want us to put as much pressure on these people as possible. Dana nailed it. This is unacceptable and has to stop. And it has to stop now. And everybody's accountable. And we're watching what they're saying on television and who's saying what. The politicians, the media, and all these rats out there. This can never happen again. It ends now. Greg's right again. This is a turning point, and we know which direction we're going.
Turning point used so appropriately there. This is also in Joe Biden has posted on X a statement. He said, "There is no place in our country for this kind of violence. It must end now." Jill and I are praying for Charlie Kirk's family and loved ones. Sure to have many more of these statements to come through. Harold, you also knew Charlie Kirk.
I met Charlie a few times. First off, my condolences and prayers to his family. This is a young dad. The kind of pain that his wife has to be experiencing as she is channeling her own kids, she should know she'll be lifted in my family's prayers tonight. You all have said it, this is horrifying. It's profoundly sad. A 31, 32-year-old young man, I know he was born in 1993, I don't know his exact birthday, but he'd been 32 this year if he wasn't already. I don't know all the details about the shooter or any of those things. I'm sure we will learn and rightly learn. But our infatuation with like our own politics and our own ideas causes us, I think, to drown in these thoughts and these justifications. I've read some things and seen some things that people have said today who have talked about Charlie's politics in a way that it sounds as if they are trying to bring some understanding or justification for this. There's no justification for this. Charlie and I didn't agree on a lot of politics, a lot of the paths to solve political problems, but I viewed his thoughts and ideas as ways to try to help make my thoughts and ideas better. Politics at its best is that. We're going to hear a lot over the coming days on both sides, those who adored Charlie and his politics, those who did not like Charlie, did not like his politics. But there's no place in our country. There's no place, if you love America, if you love freedom, if you indeed want to make America, whatever side you sit on, Democrat or Republican, the greatest nation in the world, and believe it is, you can't in any way defend this or justify this. I close where I started. I don't know Erica, but my thoughts and prayers to her and to his daughter and to his son.
Free speech lives high in your list of priorities, Kennedy.
Absolutely. And you think about all of us go out there and we want to meet the public. We want to speak. We want to speak our minds. We are fortunate enough to have been given a microphone and this medium to talk about ideas and amplify what we believe is right. It is okay to be polarizing. It is okay to be a lightning rod. It is okay for people to disagree with you. It is not okay to take someone's life. And you know, there are people who have tried to justify what happened based on the reaction that Charlie Kirk stirred in people. I will tell you this, as Jesse said, his daughter loved Charlie Kirk. My daughter is a junior in college. A lot of them only get their news from TikTok, and they all know who Charlie Kirk is.
Yep.
Because using the Socratic method, he has confronted the sophistry of socialism and progressivism on college campuses. That was his life's work, and they all knew who he was. And as they shared those videos, many of those young people questioned their beliefs, maybe for the first time in their lives. And it's okay to do that as well. And I hope they continue to do that, and that his shadow resonates for generations of people who are able to sit down with those they disagree with and have a conversation with them and confront them with the inadequacies of their arguments, hoping that they come to the side that Charlie Kirk lived and believed was right.
And he did it with good cheer, a happy warrior. There's one other thing I want to mention before we bring in our next guest that you're going to want to hear from. In the last several months, there have been new studies that show that younger people, especially younger men, more than ever want to get married, want to have children, want to become good fathers, want to have families. And because his following went from 2012 through today in 2025, you have to, I believe, that he was a part of that change, and good for him for having done so. I want to bring in somebody else who knew him well and who used to sit here with us. Janine Pirro, U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., joins us. Good morning, or good afternoon, Judge, excuse me.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to be with you, but certainly on a day like today, it's heartbreaking for all of us. Like everyone, I've known Charlie for 10 or 12 years, and I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken because we had someone who literally was a voice for a generation, someone who literally could turn out young people and change an election. He was a passionate voice for conservative values, and he empowered young people. And he used this Prove Me Wrong tour to spark open debate on campuses across the country. His work inspired millions of young people, and he will leave a legacy of challenging ideas and fighting for what he believed in. Today, and I'm brokenhearted as I look at his photos, I mean, right now we have lost a true warrior for freedom and open discourse. And Charlie wasn't just a commentator or an activist. He was, and I think Greg may have said this, and I agree, he was a force of nature. He built Turning Point USA from the ground up, and he gave young conservatives a platform in a world that often tried to silence them on university campuses, preventing them from saying what they believed, getting people to write papers that they didn't agree with just to get a good grade. His movement embodied everything that he believed in. He invited the tough questions, and he debated ideas head on, and he proved what we've always known, but so few people use it. He proved that truth wins when it's tested. That's what Charlie Kirk did. And look, I knew that he was a bold voice many years ago and a man of deep conviction. And I got to tell you, Dana, you're right. I mean, his belief in family, his marrying Erica, his 2 children, his unwavering loyalty to his friends. I mean, he leaves behind an incredible legacy, a movement that will only become stronger because of this young man who made a decision to take a different course. He created it, and he had all of us following him. And, you know, they talk about, you know, fascism and all that. The ones that are trying to silence the dialogue, they're the ones who are the true fascists. And what I know of Charlie is that he would want us to keep fighting. He would want us to keep fighting with words, to build a debate, to prove our doubters wrong. And in the end, Charlie proved us all right about what matters. And what we need to tell Charlie is that we will continue to carry the torch that he created on the road that he took, because this is a man who will be legendary. He changed. As far as I'm concerned, he changed an election because he was strong and he believed in young people.
Judge Janine, your voice is most welcome here today. Thank you. We'll be in touch with you as well.
Guys. All right.
Greg, one of the things that Charlie did, I don't know what happened early on in his life, but at 18, he was when he enthusiastically created Turning Point.
Yeah,
The goal of going into the lion's den of these college campuses.
It's so funny because I didn't have that when I was in college. So the amazing thing about Turning Point was that it connected you with other people that may think like you, or even not even like that, but might not fit in with the orthodoxy of the left-wing campus. So it wasn't like, hey, we're all going to become right-wingers. It was more like, you know, there are other people like you here that may not agree with what's going on. And he reminds me of the late Andrew Breitbart in the sense that it was like, why not? Why not do this? Why not challenge this leftist orthodoxy? Doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. I don't know if he was that ambitious, because I don't know if you could foresee something this big happening. But I remember speaking at these events and just walking around and going like, I could not imagine having this when I was in college. It's insane. And how
And
lucky.
did you need it then, or do you think things have changed so much that he was a part of that?
Oh, I think that, well, when I was in school, there was only one side. I went to Berkeley, and you kept your mouth shut.
Yeah.
So what he did was he was able to give students the confidence to sit in a classroom and challenge a professor when he says America is the land of the oppressed, the genociders, and this kid will raise his hand and go, maybe I disagree. It goes back to those three words that I always use. Well, he created a mechanism to share the risk. And you saw, this was a machine that literally shared the risk. You're not alone. You're going to meet all these people that are just like you. And it's going to be easier.
Yeah.
There's
There's a lot of power in that. I was going to bring this up, Jesse. I'll give you a couple of statistics just to have a transition here. So he has a nationwide campus reach. 3,500 high school and college campuses have a Turning Point chapter. There are 750,000 student activists. He has 300 full-time staff, 85 million online followers.
Wow.
And you can see also that in the UK and Europe, this is also starting to take a hold a little bit there. Its revenue was $81 million. They had things like the Professor Watch List initiative that would try to find a way to root out professors that were discriminating against conservative views or promoting just liberal ideologies. That's really an incredible thing for somebody that young.
Yeah, he would smile if I said that he was the greatest community organizer in American history, but he is. You name the chapters and the amount of people that he inspired at that level. He is credited with sometimes winning Arizona last election. And what he did on the ground in places like Michigan, the president owes him big time. And the president is obviously incredibly grateful. He's so much more than a campus guy. This guy was walking in the halls of power for the last several years. He had huge amounts of input on policy, one of the greatest communicators of the generation, tight with the president, with Vance, with Don Jr. It can't be understated how big of a figure he was in this movement. And the fact that they took out a lieutenant with a bullet makes me so angry. And Greg is so right. Two men, Breitbart and Kirk, were taken way too early. And it feels like a piece of America was taken. This guy loved this country so much. He dedicated his entire life to this job. Charlie never took vacation. I never knew him to take vacation. He always was working. And the fact that he went in, as you mentioned, to these college campuses, he went into the belly of the beast. And he knew these campuses were the kind of the cauldron of anti-Americanism. And he went right in and he watched the professors. And he went right in and he galvanized the students to stand up for themselves and push back and use logic and their gut instincts to change the course of history. And he did. And now it's cool to be conservative when you're young. Completely flipped the script.
I was thinking about that the other day. Like, who would have thought that we'd become mainstream? He apparently, I got this from my assistant Kate. He said, Charlie Kirk said he always felt like a bit of an outsider in high school because he was open about his conservative views while most of his peers leaned left. And when he started Turning Point USA Kennedy, he was 18 years old. He worked from his parents' garage making cold calls to raise money. And this was the mission statement: identify, educate, train, and organize students to promote the principles of freedom, free markets, and limited government. And we are watching here live, Kennedy, the flag being lowered to half-mast in honor of Charlie Kirk's life. This was at the order of the President of the United States, who issued the first statement after Charlie Kirk's death had been confirmed. And these flags will fly at half-mast until 6 p.m. on Sunday evening this weekend.